If you've ever stared at an empty suitcase and thought to yourself, I would rather be doing anything other than thinking about packing, then you are my kind of people and you're in the right place, because today I'm going to walk you through the system that I use when I'm preparing to travel and I need to start thinking about packing. All right, so we are popping over into my OneNote here, which is where I do all of my everything. Everything in my life, I record it in my OneNote, including my packing list for travel. So as I mentioned, my husband and I, we are blessed and fortunate enough that we get to travel a lot. We really value connections with our family and friends. So we're in Wisconsin, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, all sorts of different places. We've been to Hawaii, we've been to Mexico a few times in recent years. And sometimes we're traveling during the summer. Sometimes, Wisconsin winters. If anyone knows Wisconsin winters, it is cold. Sometimes it's in the fall, or it's casual travel, or for weddings. So there's always lots of very different clothing situations, at least for me. And I feel about clothing and trying to pick out outfits like a lot of my clients feel about organizing. I basically freeze and get very frustrated and shut down. So I have learned that it is very helpful if I simply write out outfits and packing lists ahead of time, so that when the travel comes, I simply need to go into my different templates for travel, or I can refer back to recent templates and simply just look at that and fill my suitcase up. And it saves me so much time and frustration. So I've literally created different pages under my travel section. And just a caveat, if you're like, hey, OneNote, this looks cool, I have a whole playlist on digital note taking where I go into depth how I use OneNote in my day-to-day life. I digress. For travel and for packing, I create the templates as pages. And I believe in my own, this is a tutorial notebook that I have, right? That I just kind of copy and pasted from my actual one. I do have different pages for each of the templates, just like right here. So in Hawaii, I copied this template over into our Cabo trip for this year, for instance. So I didn't have to start from scratch, right? I could just kind of look at what I had there and carry over what I needed to. And Wisconsin and North Carolina, we go to quite frequently, multiple times a year for both places. So I've learned that I can kind of just wear the same stuff, and it just cuts down on that frustration and confusion, and for me, the desire to freeze and not do anything, right? And another thing that I've even found helpful is in both places, certainly in Wisconsin, which is my parents, I keep stuff there so that I don't have to keep bringing back and forth some of the heavier or, liquid items. So I never remember what's there. So I've learned just put it on a list and then I don't have to think about it. And the other thing that I do is, and I believe it's over here in my miscellaneous pack list as well, is I put a to-do list for when we're about to leave, right, for the house, what we need to do to leave the house. And I have added exclamation points or highlighted items that, yes, I have forgotten. Last year, I forgot to bring my laptop to Wisconsin. So shout out to my best friend who overnighted it to me. Even I have things slip through the cracks when it comes to organizing, but we do the best we can and keep going, right? So now I highlight those items. But this is also helpful just to have kind of a how to turn the house, shut the house down before we leave. And it just helps free up my mind space to focus on other things. And I think, as I mentioned before too, like each list is going to evolve, right? So we had a trip to Park City this year, and next year, if we go to Park City, I'll be able to pull on this and add any extra items that I need to, or remove things that are no longer relevant. And kind of the same here. Hawaii was a similar trip to Cabo. So like I'd mentioned, I can just go back to my Hawaii template and copy and paste over into Cabo. It just really helps make things more efficient as I'm packing and free up that brain space. So I have a little more calm and clarity in my day-to-day. So just the final caveat, if you have trips coming up and the idea of packing makes you want to freeze, like it does with me, then just consider making your own templates. And you guys just saw my OneNote, right? It is not fancy at all. It is very simple. I have found that the simpler I can make my online and digital life, the more I'm going to stick with it, the easier it's going to be to maintain that habit over the long run. And frankly, it's easier to just to kind of move throughout the platform itself and find what I need when I need to. So simple is best, and I hope this was helpful. Leave a comment below if you have any templates you would like help on or you want to chat about this further. Thanks for watching and happy organizing.